Hello there. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. You probably are new here because I just started this channel as my second video. Probably the most important video that I'll ever make, and I might even remake it as I learn more about this subject. But I do feel that I have learned a lot, enough to teach it from my own experiences on this self-love journey, self-acceptance, self-worth, whatever you want to call it. I have been through it, let me tell you what. So, like I mentioned in the video before, I had struggled with self-worth and low self-esteem for most of my life. It was just kind of how I viewed the world, was just that I was not good enough and that I needed to earn love. And yeah, that's just how I thought about myself. Like, my inner world was very much a bully to myself. I was a big people pleaser. It comes with it, you know? If you don't think you're good enough, then you're like trying to get people to like see that you're good enough, right? You're trying to make them think you're good enough, because that's what it's about. Or at least that's what you think it's about when your mind is in that state. So I'm gonna go through the steps that I took in order to finally see myself fully and love that person, that soul that's inside of me. Love who I truly am. This was not easy. I'm gonna tell you steps like it's like, oh, just do this and this and this, but I'm still doing it to this day, and it never ends. The work never ends, because when you've had certain patterns of thought your whole life, it's easy to revert back at the slightest inconvenience or the slightest thing that throws you off. So you have to continue to do this work throughout your whole life. It really never stops. And there will be different things that come up that you'll need to work through, like aging, for example, or gain some weight, or let yourself down. You know, we let ourselves down sometimes. We make the wrong decision. We make mistakes. So you gotta learn how to respect yourself and love yourself after you do these things each time. But I'm going to start with awareness of flaws. So you'll start to notice repeating patterns happening in your life, and it can be a multitude of different things. I'm also going to give you one example, and it will kind of progress with each step so you can understand how I used these steps for my specific situations. I'm going to talk about one situation, and you can put that you can kind of plug in your life into the situation, your specific story. So hopefully it doesn't get too confusing for you. So my continuing patterns, I found myself in long-term relationships where they kept eventually coming to an end because of my insecurities, jealousy. And I had blamed them most of the time. Like, why do you do this? You do this to make me jealous. You should stop doing this. I tried to gain control of them. And ultimately, you know, after this happened a few times, I eventually got to the point where I realized that I had to take responsibility, and that it was actually something that I had to work on, something broken in me that was causing me to be this way. And of course, I knew that since I was jealous and insecure, everybody knows that comes from low self-esteem, low self-worth, because people who are truly in love with themselves and confident are not worried about someone cheating on them all the time, because they know that they're great, and they know they're the prize, and they know they're a queen, and somebody would be stupid to look the other direction and compromise the relationship. So it takes opening your eyes, taking responsibility, and sometimes it is the other person. So you have to be able to be aware of if the problem is really within you or it is something within them, because and maybe it could be both. But we can only worry about ourselves. So basically, after this, you follow your extreme emotions. So extreme emotions are a map to the source of your pain. It's like somebody who's angry all the time isn't just angry to be angry. There's a reason, and it probably comes from a place of sadness and pain, actually, from something that happened to them. So my extreme emotion was jealousy, right? So I had to go inside and really pick this apart, this feeling, these emotions I was having. And ultimately, it was low self-esteem, not feeling good enough. It was also sadness and some anger. And I had to follow it back to the source. And where does this come from? And it didn't take long for me to realize that it comes from, there's my cat. Anyway, it comes from, my father abandoning me as a child. And so that's my wound, okay? This isn't about me. This is just a way for me to tell you what I've been through and how I applied these steps to figure this out. Lay down, King. He always does this. I love him. He is going to die soon. He has kidney disease. So I try to let him do whatever the fuck he wants. Anyway, let's focus. So I identified the source. The source was daddy issues, for sure. And so I decided that there was a lot of gaslighting being done with myself about that situation. I tried to tell myself that I was over that and that, so my dad, I felt like he abandoned me. He did enter my life later. He was trying to be in my life later. And it's like, I was like, well, I was minimizing it, okay? I was like, some people never have a mom or a dad, or some people get assaulted, by a parent or whatever. I minimized it. But for me, that was the biggest heartbreak I've ever had, and it was at a very young age. So it did create trauma for me. And so you can attach this to anything that's ever happened to you, whether you were a kid when it happened or an adult when it happened. If it happened to you and it hurt you and it created a strong emotional reaction that you still carry, we can heal this by feeling it. So you go back to those moments and you go back to the way it felt, because you can still feel it now if it's still living inside you and it's still heavy on your heart. And so this wasn't just one time that I did this. This was repeatedly going back to this moment and crying and being sad that my dad wasn't around and I didn't know if he loved me. Feeling all those things. Letting them break you down, Letting yourself be destroyed by it all over again. These are things nobody wants to do. This is the reason people become addicted to drugs, sex, whatever it is, because it takes them away from those feelings that they don't want to sit with, that they don't want to look at, that little version of them that's just broken. So this is hard to do, and you should pat yourself on the back for even thinking about it, and definitely for sitting there and doing it and working through it and feeling it. Don't forget to congratulate yourself along the way. Congratulate. Anyway, so we're remembering how it felt. And we have to ask ourselves, what did that event make you believe about yourself? So when that happened to me, my beliefs shifted and I began to think that my dad doesn't love me because I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable because he doesn't see my value. He got remarried a few times, and then I thought, well, he chose them over me because they're better. Because, you know, that lady has a kid and it's a boy and he wants a boy. So maybe I just should be better than a boy. Like, I can do anything a boy can. This is how, that's how you see things when you're a kid. You're very much like the world revolves around you. So other people's decisions must be based on something that you're doing or you're not doing. And so I formed my reality upon these ideas, So my story from that point on was, I'm not good enough. It was like my survival technique. That was the brain I was using from that point on. Was like, I need to prove myself. I need to earn love. I need to be better so that I can be seen by someone who's supposed to love me. So now that we've figured out the way we perceived the situation and the way it's made us think about ourselves, we can understand ourselves better and understand our pain better, which leads us to actually fixing it and moving forward, which is like trauma identity, basically. So now the step is to find the truth, because those things that I perceived from the situation weren't actually true at all. I had basically made myself believe in a lie for my whole life. So we ask ourselves what really happened and who are we really without this survival brain, without this trauma. Who are we? So when I reflected back, what really happened is I was this amazing kid, like talented and gifted and unique and special, just like all of you are. We all have our special gifts and talents, and especially when we're a kid, I mean, so much play and freedom if you're lucky enough to do those things. Just so much light and vibrance and excitement for the simplest things. And the thing is that my dad just, he didn't get what he needed. He was really young when he had me, and he didn't know how to love or be there for a child. And it really had nothing to do with me at all. So the reality that I had formed was actually not true at all. And then I 28, 29 years old, I realized that I had just been looking at it all through the wrong lens the whole time. And that I actually have been fucking awesome this whole fucking time. And I just have not been able to see it because of the way I was viewing the world. Which is sad. It's sad. My cat's trying to eat my necklace. So we find the truth, and that's when everything starts to turn around. So then we do some inner child healing. Forgive me if I'm stuttering, okay? It's my second video, and I'm going off of my list. So now it's inner child healing. And I can go further into how this really looks in another video, because I feel like this one's going to be really long already. But you look at the innocence in you and who you were before the pain. You look at yourself as a child. And so this was, again, multiple nights of me on my couch crying, imagining my little child self, my little me, and giving her the love she needed and seeing her truly for all the amazing things that she is. And so for me, that looked like, for some reason, I envisioned like this big old flower field, and I envisioned her running towards me. You know, she's like 5 or something. Just a little girl running towards me, and I crouch down and I go in to hug her, and she's just smiling. I look at her and her big, beautiful blue eyes, and I just see her light and her beauty and her radiance and her excitement for life and her creativity and how talented she is. And you can fill in the blanks with all the things that you are, or you were, but you still are. And I told her, don't change a thing. And I told her how much I love her and that she's perfect the way she is. Let's not cry. Let's not cry right now. Obviously, it still gets me emotional because I didn't see her for so long, and it's sad. I want you to see you for who you really are. Innocent, incredible, talented, gifted, amazing, all the things you are. Inquisitive, loves to talk to people, storyteller. You know, the list goes on. So once you see yourself, you can become everything that you needed when you were hurt, at whatever point that is. See, this doesn't have to be a young version of you. It could be like when you were 21 and something happened to you, or when you were whatever and something happened to you. Go back to that time and just find the innocence in yourself, find the beauty in yourself at that time, and ultimately give yourself the love that you needed. Tell yourself the things that you needed to hear. Do this in your mind. This is something you're imagining. Really feel into it though. Like, it needs to feel real, and you need to believe it. So now you can reframe your story and decide what the truth is, and figure out that it has nothing to do with you. If it's a mistake that you have made, you have to forgive yourself. Even if it's terrible, terrible thing, terrible mistake, you feel so bad. There comes a point when you have to forgive yourself. So, going back to that time, just know that you did what you thought was right for all the things you knew and everything you had at the time that you did it. You did what was best for you, even if it was not good, and terrible. It's just what you did. How to survive. Oh my gosh. Everybody just never mind. Let's edit that part out. So then we need to realize that we are not a victim. Okay? Because a lot of us will carry this victim mentality for these things that have happened to us, and we have to realize that we're adults now, and we take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for our pain and the way that we carry it. Even if it's hard, because obviously maybe somebody did something to you, right? But you have to, the pain that you carry is either going to recycle, it's going to create the cycle all over again, and you're going to treat somebody poorly and you're going to hurt somebody else, and then they're going to treat somebody poorly and hurt somebody else. So at some point, someone has to take responsibility and decide that they're not going to keep the cycle going any longer, and that they're going to actually heal the pain, and they're going to take control of it and actually heal instead of keep on passing it. through generations. Or next is forgiveness, which I kind of touched on briefly, but you have to have forgiveness towards the person that hurt you, or for yourself if it's something, a mistake you made. And the way to forgive is to see the same innocence that you saw in yourself and your inner child. You have to find that same innocence in the other person. And this can be very challenging, but try to picture them as a child, not getting what they need from their parents, not getting the love they need, feeling sad and lonely and like their needs are not met. Jesus, Kratos, he's fucking going ham back there. Once you can see this in others, you realize like we're all living this specific life here for the first time, and we're all just trying to figure it out as we go, and we all make mistakes, and it makes it easier to forgive. Don't forget now. Don't forget. But definitely forgive and let that weight come off your shoulders. It definitely feels good to let that weight go. So once we forgive, we can break the cycle that I was talking about of, putting your anger and your pain onto other people. We don't need to do that. We need to reframe our thoughts. We need to reframe our thoughts about ourselves, about others, and about life. So it really does start with your inner world, your inner thoughts, and the way you view yourself and the love you have for yourself. It makes it way easier to do the other two things. Reframe your thoughts about others and about life. So it does help to start with yourself, but you can do all of these at the same time. I do have a few steps how to reframe your thoughts about yourself, but I'll just mention a couple here. I might do a video getting in a little deeper on these as well. But one of the major things that helped me was writing a list of all the things that I tell myself. Like, I basically was a bully. I would bully myself all day long. It'd be like most of my self-talk. Sorry, I feel like I have a hair stuck to my face. Most of my self-talk was bullying, and it was negative towards myself. I'd look in the mirror and I'd see all the things that I didn't like. And so I made a list of these things, and I put a line down the middle, made a list of all the things, and then on the other side, I made a list of all the ways that they're not true. And your mind is very powerful. You can find reasons for the ways things are true and the proof that they are not true. So you're looking for the proof that they're not true, and you'll find it, because you'll find whatever your mind wants you to find. So I started doing that on a physical list, but then I started doing it in my mind, and I would edit my thoughts. So the moment I would have a thought that was negative about myself, I would edit it and fix it and turn it into a positive one. And maybe some of these thoughts we have are true, right? Most of them are not. But maybe some are true. And you'll be like, well, how do I reframe? I'm not going to lie to myself. How do I reframe something that's true? So what you can do is think about the ways that it could be worse. Or just not fucking think about it at all, because who cares? Like, who cares if something is actually wrong with you? You can fix it for the most part. If you can fix it, then why are you even wasting time thinking about it? Just fix it. Let's then write down all the things we need to do to fix it, so that we don't have to think that way about ourselves anymore. But yeah, also something that helps is thinking about how it could be worse. It makes you realize that your problems, or not necessarily your problems, but the mean things you say about yourself aren't even that bad. And it's time to focus on all the things that are great about you. I feel like I rambled too long about that. And then changing our thoughts about others. So an example of the way that I thought about other people was I would ask myself, do they like me? And it took me fucking 28 years to ask myself, do I even like them? It was always, 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 do they like me? And trying to get people to like me. It was very stupid. I'm not stupid, but you get it. So you can reframe the way you think about others and the way you think about life. So my example for life is if you walk around saying that you have bad luck, then you're gonna have bad luck. And your words are very powerful, so you need to be careful with what you say out loud, especially. Your thoughts are powerful too, but when you actually speak it, it's a whole nother level. So, you know, replace those types of things with, I have good luck. I'm lucky. Even if it feels like it's not true at first. But when you do say these things, try to believe them and try to say them wholeheartedly and embody them. Next way to build this love for yourself is to treat yourself like royalty. And of course, I can go further into this in another video too, but how would you treat a queen or a king? That's how you need to treat yourself, like to the highest degree. Take great care of yourself, immaculate care of yourself. This is gonna build your self-worth like no other. Because once you take care of yourself, it just builds this sort of, just this appreciation, you know, and it makes you feel good. And then you walk around with this whole new essence of somebody who treats themselves well. And it just kind of floods into everything you do and the way you speak and the way that you treat others then. And everything's a mirror. So the way you think about others is the way you think about yourself. What you project onto others, you project on yourself. And of course, the way you treat others is the way you treat yourself. Mirror work is going to be a really important thing. And these are just a few things. There's so many different things you can do. But it's important to be able to look in the mirror and look into your eyes and genuinely see the love in you. See the unconditional love that you hold inside of you. See yourself truly for who you really are, for all the good and all the bad, and true acceptance. See your eyes, see yourself through the lens of love and understanding, and gratitude is a huge one. Be grateful that you get to live your life in your body with your family, with the people that you know, in the place that you live, with the desires and the dreams that you hold, the talents that you hold specifically. Damn, you are lucky to be you. Look in the mirror and know that. Feel that. Look it directly into your eyes. And don't look away. Don't beat yourself up. Acknowledge how fucking incredible you are, truly. And I know you got all these doubts running through your head. Well, I'm chubby, I'm this, I made a mistake, whatever. In that moment, embrace everything that you are. Every little piece of you. And yeah, just feel that love, baby. Feel that love. It might be hard at first. Little bits at a time. You don't gotta just go right in for the eye contact and be like, I love you. But, you know, at least start with looking at yourself and telling yourself something good about yourself. Like, I look fucking good today. Like, I like my smile. I like the way this jean jacket makes my shoulders look like a fucking linebacker, bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. I got out of control right there. Anyway, move your body, treat yourself well. dance to some music like a sexy goddess. Like, feel yourself, feel your body moving. Do some yoga, stretch. There's so many things you can do. Exercise in a way that makes you feel good, that you actually enjoy. You don't have to, like, do things you hate. Definitely don't do that. Anyway, breath work is great. Breath work is actually insane. I recommend it. It may get you in touch with your spirituality, and that's not what this is about, but it all leads to spirituality in the end. And, I'm not going to be quiet just because some people think that spirituality is, taboo or whatever, because it literally is. The main reason why I was able to do this is because, man, I just realized exactly what spirituality actually was. And I felt that. I felt the unconditional love. I felt God. And I see how everything's connected. And it does help you to see yourself truly, because God made you. God is in you. A little piece of God is in everybody. And once you can see that, it's pretty impossible not to love yourself. Okay, so the next step is to create your new reality. This is the very most exciting, the most exciting part. You get to create your new reality, knowing who you are, loving who you are, walking into this world like, I'm here, baby. I get to live this life in this body with this mind. What do I want to do with all this? There's so much opportunity, potential. The whole world opens up for you because you're not worried about what anybody else wants you to be. What do you want to be? You know who you are now. So you know what you can do, and you'll start to find out your direction, because if you're being authentic to yourself, you'll know what is pulling you towards it, like a magnet. And it will probably be something that scares you, most likely. That's why we gotta face our fears. Anyway, that's another video probably. Yeah, so you can create your new reality and be who you truly are, and you can decide what you truly want. And you'll have this unconditional love for yourself and for others, because once you have this for yourself, you can see it in others. It's hard not to. You see the beauty in others, and you realize that no one is better than another person. That was part of the healing journey too, I will say. Part of loving myself is realizing that, all these people that I thought were above me are just humans too. And they're not better than me. And people that I thought were lower, or people that, I try to make myself feel better because I got a nice body, I'm a bodybuilder, I'm this or that, so I'm better. No, honey, humble yourself. Nobody's better than anybody. Somebody might make more money, but they also might have absolutely no empathy and not be in touch with themselves or God in any way, shape, or form. And so in that way, you would be richer. Somebody might be good at art while another is good at math. So there's, people all have their specific purpose on this planet, and they should embrace that and never compare to somebody else. If anything, celebrate the ways other people are better. Because if we were all the same, this place would be pretty fucking boring. But yeah, once you have that unconditional love for everybody, for yourself, it makes things just so beautiful and amazing and bright, and then you can start to create your reality. So you can manifest your destiny, and that will be another video. So holy shit, this was a long video. If you stuck around this long, I do love you. I don't even know why that's what came to my mind, but I love you. I love you anyway. There's enough love for me to love all the people that watch this and love myself, and still enough love to, you know, love my future husband one day. So I might end all my videos by saying I love you. I don't know. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it helped you. It was really long. I hope it was easy to understand, and I hope that it didn't feel like I was just talking about myself the whole time. Signing off, and I will hopefully see you in the next video that I do, which who knows what that's gonna be. I have all kinds of ideas. I might be eating food, I might be trying on clothes, I might just be talking. Just talking my little heart off. We'll see. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.